What's up, everybody? It's your boy Isaiah coming to you from Bucks Locker. One final season review. Gonna talk about some things. Waiting on my buddy Travis Johnson. I don't know if he's gonna show up, but we'll see if he shows up. We can talk about some stuff. But I guess I'll start with something. So we went 9-7. A season of ups and downs. We looked good at some point, and we looked bad at some point, and we finished kind of so-so. So at the beginning of the season, we started out quite interesting. Dirk's first year coaching, we fired Lovie Smith earlier last year, and Jason Light hired Dirk Koetter based on the relationship with him and James Winston. So going into the season last year, it was a lot of questions about Dirk, even going back into his college days on can he be a head coach? Well, folks, sounds like to me he's kind of proved, I guess you can say. What do you guys think? I think he did a decent job, pretty good job. I'm gonna say decent. He did a pretty good job. Lovie Smith won 2 games his first season, and then he went 6-10. That's 8 games in 2 seasons. Dirk won 9 games in 1 season, folks. So we ended the season 9-7. We was 3-5 after 8 games. Then our last 8 games, we went 6-2. 5-game home stretch. Then we had some big wins over Kansas City and Seattle, 2 playoff teams, by the way, that they are in the playoffs, that we pretty much shut them down. And then we had a 2-game stretch that all we had to do was win one of those games, and we would have been in instead of the Lions. The Lions finished 9-7, and we finished 9-7, and they end up getting in because of strength of schedule. All we had to do was beat the Saints or the Cowgirls, and we couldn't even do that. Am I disappointed? Yes and no, because I wish we would have beat one of those games. I wish we would have beat the Cowboys or the Saints, and we would have been in the playoffs right now, going to Seattle, by the way, which we beat 14-5. And I think Seattle would have had a problem with us. We probably would have beat Seattle. But who knows? But that's neither here nor there. So I see a lot of folks, happy about the season, and you should be. You should be happy about the season. We finished strong, 6-2 in the last 8 games. But there are some issues that's been going on throughout the season that needs to be addressed in the off season. And talk about the off season, because now we're in the off season. We got some decisions to make, folks, and this is what's going to happen. We got to upgrade the talent. We need to get some talent out there. And if any one of y'all got any questions about talent or want to throw some suggestions out there, I've seen some posts in the Facebook groups about Dalvin Cook and Corey Davis from Central Michigan. But there's a lot of things that we're gonna have to upgrade on that team. We're in the middle of the pack. We picking 19th in the draft this year. I'm gonna start out with the offense. What do we need to put in the offense to take us back to the top 10 offense? Because remember, last year while Dirk Koetter was the offensive coordinator, and we'll get on to that in a second, we had a top 5 offense. Now Dirk Koetter has moved into the head coaching position, and he's still calling plays, which I think that's a detriment to the team. We dropped down to 17th in the league in all total offense. And our running game, now despite the fact, now I will say this, our running game did hurt. It hurt our team at the beginning of the season because if you think about last season, we had the second best running back in the league, according to yards, Doug Martin, 1,406 yards, so that helped the offense in the passing game pretty good. But not having a running game most of the season did hurt. I mean, Jacquizz Rodgers filled in, and Peyton Barber filled in, and Mike James had a game or two that he came in, or Hansberg came in, and the running back by committee running back by committee kind of works and it kind of don't work. But in this case, I would give it a C minus, D plus, because Jacquizz Rodgers was running a lot better than Doug Martin behind the same line that Doug Martin had 1,406 yards last year, pretty much. We didn't have Gerald Sweezy, you know, so I don't know what happened with Doug. I mean, he had his hamstring pulled and he got the big contract. So when he got his contract, I was a little iffy about it. I was on board with it at first, but I was iffy. But, you know, a 27-year running back, he got to get his money. I'm not mad at it. But when he got hurt in that hamstring, man, it just kind of set him back for 6 weeks. And during those 6 weeks, he was kind of doing some things, and we don't know what he was doing. But he ended up, you know, getting suspended on PED violation, on drug policy for the NFL, and it was Adderall. And he, you know, admitted himself into a treatment center and all this. But I don't know what we're going to do with Doug, you know. But we got to address the running back situation this offseason, whether it's through the draft or through free agency. Now, as far as the free agent running backs, you got Adrian Peterson. I don't think Jason Licht's going to touch him. You got a couple other guys sitting out there that we can probably pick up, veterans, whatever. But I like Jacquizz Rodgers. I think we should re-sign him to like a 2-year deal, maybe 3-year deal. You know, a decent contract for the guy because he showed up. He had over 4 yards of carry this season. Should we draft a running back? Maybe. I think we should. I don't know about the first round because we got other than running back. I mean, I get it. We do need a running back, but running backs, we can get running backs in, you know, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round. We don't have to get a running back in the first round or the second round because we got pressing needs, aka offensive line. Offensive line is horrible, and we all know Donavan Smith is not the left tackle. So if Dalvin, now we know Leonard Fournette's not going to be there. He's not going to be there by the time we pick. We pick 19th. If you folks don't know, we pick 19th. So Dalvin Cook is the name that keep popping up in all the Facebook groups. And folks, I'm gonna be honest with you. We're not getting Dalvin Cook. I'm sorry. Let's just keep it real. He's too good of a running back to fall that far. It's not gonna happen. So, you know, I don't know. So we'll see. Now I suggest, now as far as offensive linemen, are there any elite offensive linemen coming out in the draft? No, I mean, there's one, Cam Robinson from the left tackle from Alabama, but they saying he's more of a right tackle. So I don't know. Maybe Jason will go out, our GM will go out and grab a left tackle in free agency, a Joe Thomas, a Joe Staley. Then we got to figure out what we're going to do with Gerald Sweezy. We signed Gerald Sweezy and we put him on PUP, and we was supposed to come back in week 6, and the guy never came back. I mean, he got his money and didn't play it down this season. So I don't know if we're going to get rid of his contract. I think we should. We don't need any dead money sitting around like that. I personally think that we should find a left guard too. Ali Marpet, we got to keep him. We got to get rid of Gosser Trellis. DeMar Dotson, he's a backup. Donovan Smith is a right tackle. I think he'll be a good right tackle, or even a good left guard. I think he'll be a good left guard, Donovan Smith, or good right tackle, either one. But he is not a left tackle, folks. That dude, if we don't shore up that offensive line, forget the running back. I don't care what type of running back you got back there. If we don't shore up that offensive line, we're not going anywhere. We're going to always be 7-9, 8-8, 9-7, 6-10. See what the Cowboys did, see what the Raiders did. The Raiders spent money this offseason. And we grabbed J.R. Sweezy, but see, we got burnt by grabbing free agents. And I understand that you got to be careful with free agency. And we know our history, Michael Johnson, those type of guys. We give them a bunch of money to and they don't produce. There are some guys in the draft and there are some guys in free agency. I really hope that we address the line. I think we should get about 2 or 3 starters, whether it's through free agency or through the draft. Jason Licht, our GM, he's had a good draft. 2 or 3 drafts that he's been with the Bucs. He's done a great job. So we'll see. He's hit on some picks. Mike Evans. Kwon. Of course, Jameis. Adam Humphrey, Cameron Brate, undrafted free agents. They was pretty good. So we'll see. I mean, Ali Marpet, you know, so and then Brent Grimes, I mean, we'll talk about the defense in a second, but offensively, there are some pieces that we need. A left tackle, a left guard, a running back through free agency of the draft, and a backup quarterback. Because Mike Glennon, folks, he hitting free agency. He's going to get a decent contract. And I don't know. Now, I will say this, folks. We have, I believe, $68 million in salary cap space to use. We'll see how that goes, and are we going to spend the money? I think we should. You know, we should spend the money on. We got plenty of money to spend on anything we want, pretty much. But I know we're not a big fan of spending money in free agency, and we're tightening the cheeks, as you want to call it. So we'll see. Now, we gave Brian Anger a contract. He deserved it. And I'm going to slide over to the special teams. We need to get a returner, folks. I know Adam Humphrey. Oh, let me go back to the offense. I'm sorry. I got beside myself. We need a receiver. I know everybody been debating on receiver, running back, but I'm saying offensive lineman. If there's a lineman there that we can draft him. You know what I'm saying? If not, get a receiver. And the name that keep popping up is Corey Davis from Central Michigan. He played yesterday. It's a pretty good receiver. Is he going to be there at 19 by the time we pick? I don't know. But we do need a receiver to pair with Mike Evans, our elite receiver, our number one. We need a couple. Actually, we need a couple receivers, to be honest with you. And no offense to Adam Humphrey. He's a decent guy. He's limited, though. If you folks haven't paid attention, Adam Humphrey is very, 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 very limited. He has below average speed or average speed. He's a very good guy in the middle of the field. Is he a starter? No. He's a third or fourth receiver. But he's not a number two. He's not even a number three. Because all he can do really is catch bubble screens. He don't have great separation. I mean, he's done good for us, but he has limitations. And if we can get about two or three receivers, I don't know what we're going to do with Cecil Shorts and Russell Shepard. We'll keep him for special teams, but there are some receivers that might come open in the free agency. Do we need to get a veteran receiver? I've heard of Alshon Jeffrey is going to be a restricted free agent, but I think he's going to cost too much, and I don't want to spend that money. I don't recommend Jason or Dirk to spend that much money on Alshon Jeffrey. But we'll see though. There's some other guys in the draft. Mike Williams from Clemson. He won't be there at 19 by the time we pick, so you can wrap that up. But Corey Davis might be there. And you got the receiver from Oklahoma. You got John Ross from Washington. There's a couple other receivers out there that's pretty good. That's decent that we can use. Do we need another tight end? Yes, we do, because Luke Stalker and Brandon Myers are big and slow. They're more of an offensive lineman type tight end. They are blocking tight end, but they can't catch. And we need another tight end to pair with Cameron Brate. So there's some depth that we need. We need some depth. But I keep repeating this. I'm going to keep saying this all off season. Dirk, Jason Light, the Glazer family, please address the offensive line first. Free agency and through the draft. Whether it's get a free agent right tackle or left tackle and get two guys in the draft, we got to address the offensive line. Because if we don't address the offensive line, we're not going to go anywhere. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be at best, like I keep saying, 9-7, 8-8. You see what the Cowboys did. 3 first-rounders. The Oakland Raiders spent some money. They got Donald Penn. We let him go. You know, so we got to be smart about this. This is a very key offseason for us, going into Jameis Winston's 3rd year, Mike Evans' 4th year. And we got $68 or $69 million, so we got plenty to spend. We can't waste valuable time while we got Jameis under this cheap contract. Now, Mike Evans' contract is coming up first, and then after that, then Jameis. So we got to make sure we got to be we got to be smart about who we sign, because we got to give those two guys contracts. And then you got Kwon coming. So you got Mike Evans first, next year. And then you got Jameis after that. And you got Kwon. You got to give those guys contracts. And then before you know it, Noah Spence going to need a contract. So we got to keep our young guys together. You know, those four. And Vernon Hargreaves. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta address the offense, man, because running back, left tackle, and a right tackle, and a left guard. I don't know, like I said, with J.R. Sweezy. But special teams, we got to get a kick return. We got to get a kick return and a good punt return. Adam Humphrey, he's okay, folks, but he's not a great punt return. Ryan Smith, they tried him, but he was fumbling the ball back there. He was struggling, so I don't think that's a good option with him. And I don't know what they're going to do with that guy on special teams. He was picked to be a safety or corner. Now he's a safety. I don't know. But Roberto Aguayo, folks, the news has gotten out about Jason and Dirk. They came to a decision to say this offseason they will bring in some competition for Roberto Aguayo. And I think that is a very good idea, that they bring some competition in for Roberto Aguayo. Okay? He needs to have somebody on his ass that can make some field goals to put the pressure on him. Because let's be honest, folks, Roberto Aguayo has cost us some games. He has. He's missed, I believe, over 8 field goals, and he didn't make anything over 43 yards this whole season. Now, he's supposed to be the all-time great kicker in college, and he's supposed to have a leg. But for whatever reason, Dirk Koetter did not want him kicking the ball over 43 yards. Anytime we lined up and there was a field goal over 43 yards, it was a block or a miss. And that's not going to cut it. And as I said, he might be a second-round pick, and it was a reach, Jason Life, Dirk Koetter. It was a reach to grab him because you was afraid somebody's going to get him at the end of the second round. So you traded back into the second round, you got him. I get it. You wanted to shore up the kicking game. You made the kicking game worse by taking a kicker that can't make kicks and don't have confidence. Now, he finished the season strong, but as we've seen in the Carolina game, he missed the field goal. He had a field goal block. Granted, it was the line's fault, but hey, we blaming you. You a second-round pick as a kicker. You got to make those kicks. You got to be able to make kicks inside the 20-yard line. You got to make 20-yard kicks. You got to make 30-yard kicks. You got to make 40-yard kicks. And hell, you got to make 50-yard kicks or 50-plus. And you got to make your extra points. Kickoffs, you're fine. You get the ball in the end zone, but we need you, when it's time to score 3 points or an extra point, we need to have 100% confidence in our kicker. As a fan base, as all these Pirates and Sea Bandits, we got to have 100%, because every time he kicks, I guarantee you, at the Ray J, every time he kicks, it's like everybody's gasping for air, like, oh my gosh, is he gonna miss it? Every time he kicks, it's always a dramatic moment. Like right before he kicks and he gets lined up and he gets set, it's like, man, please don't miss this kick. Please don't miss this kick. But he's missed quite a few, and that's a lot. And I know Sebastian Janikowski, you know, he was a first-round kicker. In his first year, he was horrible, but then he turned it around. So this is a critical offseason for Roberto Aguayo. And let me tell you why, folks, because if he goes into the next season missing kicks again, he's going to get benched, and he's probably going to get cut. We cannot allow him to come into next season this year and miss kicks and cost us games, which he has. His extra points and his field goals missed have cost us games. And I go through the games in a little bit, but you know, we can't have that, Roberto. You gotta get your stuff together. I was gonna cuss, but I'm not gonna cuss. I'm gonna try not to. Defensively. Now, Mike Smith. Now, am I the biggest fan of Mike Smith? No, because I've seen his resume. I've seen what he did in Jacksonville. Pretty good. I've seen what he did in Atlanta. Yeah, they had a lot of wins, but it wasn't because of the defense. It was because of Matt Ryan and Julio Jones and Roddy White. And as you've seen, Atlanta Falcons moved on from Mike Smith. It was his voice got tired. Defense was never good. Atlanta's defense was never good with Mike Smith. Now, I understand, folks. Oh, we had a 5-game winning streak, and you know the defense was the top 10. And in the last 8 weeks, we was in top 10 in all major categories, and blah 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 blah. But then at the end of the season, when it was crunch time, when it was go time, he had 2 stinkers. the Saints or the Cowboys on Sunday night, and the Saints. He had 2 games back to back that the Cowboys offense ran up and down the field on us, threw the ball up and down the field. And then I was at the game against the Saints. And the Saints was up and down the field against our defense. Cornerbacks playing 15 yards off the ball. I don't know, man. And I'm so-so on Mike Smith. And there are some reports that he might be taking the Jacksonville Jaguars job as the head coach. Would I be mad if he leave? Nope. I'm just going to be honest, folks. I would not be mad if Mike Smith goes to take that job in Jacksonville. I'm just saying. I'm not, like I said, I'm so-so on his defense. You know, it's not the greatest. It has showed improvement after 8 games. After the first 8 games when we was 3-5 and we was horrible, we had that Raiders game where Raiders put up like 600 yards of offense, and the Raider Nation was all on my page talking shit to me and all that. I'm sorry, excuse my language, but it was all on Bucs Lockers page talking noise to me about the Raiders this and the Raiders that. You know, respect to the Raider Nation. They go hard for their team. Then the next game, Atlanta Falcons come to our stadium and throw the ball all over the place. In those 2 games, we gave up, I think, almost 1,100 yards. So at that moment, that made me feel some type of way about Mike Smith. So I don't know. I'm so-so on his defense. I don't like some of his defensive calls. He don't blitz a lot. He likes to sit back and let the teams drive down the field. I'm not a big fan of the bend don't break type stuff. You know, like I'm not just be aggressive like he did against Carolina. Be aggressive like he did against Kansas City in Seattle, you know, Chicago, you know, San Francisco. He was aggressive. I don't like all this, the Cowboy type defense. You know, the defense that we played is the Cowboys and the Saints and the Falcons and the Raiders. I don't like that. And the Rams. But anyway, defensively, there are some major upgrades that we do need. I'm going to start out with the safeties. Okay, folks, the real problem here. I'm going to start in the back 4 or the back 7, you want to call it. Safeties. Bradley McDougald, Keith Tandy can stay on the team. Okay. But Christopher, I'm out of position, Conte. Done. Lovie Smith, left over. Done. You're done. That's it. Bradley McDougald's and Lovie Smith left over. Keith Tandy is too, but at least they make plays. Chris Conte is always out of position, and we need a safety like Michael Hooker from Ohio State, Jabril Peppers from Michigan Wolverines. Are those 2 guys going to be there? I don't think Jabril Peppers will be there. Do I think Malik Hooker will be there? Probably so. You got Jamal Adams from LSU. You know, we got some safeties. You got the safety Buda Baker from Washington. You got a safety from West Virginia. You got a safety from Clemson. You got a safety from Alabama, Eddie Jackson. You got the safeties from Marcus May from Florida Gators. This draft class, as far as the secondary, is very deep at safeties and corners. And we do have some small-ass corners. Brent Grimes, like 5'10", Vernon Hargreaves, like 5'10", and you've seen against Kelvin Benjamin and Julio Jones. Also, these guys get bodied. Now, I suggest that we go after safeties, and there are plenty to choose from. And I'll go more in detail about the draft in the other videos this offseason, but safety is a position of need. You've seen the difference of a safety, and I can run down the list of the last couple years. We can go back. Clinton Dix for the Green Bay Packers, Landon Collins for the New York Giants, Keanu Neal from the Atlanta Falcons. He's made a big difference. He's an enforcer back there. And the problem is we don't have an enforcer back there that later would. We don't have an enforcer, folks. We don't have that banger back that you catch a ball, you getting punched in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got that enforcer back there. And we need that. Eric Reed. The list goes on and on and on. You got to have a safety back there. And we don't have that. You know, Keith Tandy showed his ass off. Excuse my language again. He showed his butt off. 4 interceptions in the last 5 weeks. He has better instincts than Chris Conte and Bradley McDougald too. He's a better tackler. Bradley McDougald's okay covering. You know, he shut down Greg Olsen. But we got to draft a safety, and there's plenty to choose from. Linebackers, we're good there. With Kwon and Lavonte David. But there is another linebacker, strong side linebacker, that we need to get rid of. And we signed in free agency. His name is Daryl. I don't be in the play, or I don't make no tackle, Smith. That's right, Daryl Smith. He is nowhere to be found on the field. He is on the field. I've watched this guy. He's on the field 50% of the plays, and he doesn't make tackles. He's never around the ball. He doesn't cause turnovers. He doesn't make great tackles. He always getting blocked, and he's too old. He's not young enough anymore at that position, and we got to upgrade that position, whether it's through free agency or draft. But we need to get another athletic linebacker to pair with Kwon and Lavonte. Because I think Kwon and Lavonte had to pick up Daryl Smith slack, being that he was out of position or always getting blocked. So a lot of the games that we got ran on, like the Dallas game and the Saints game, the Raiders game, Daryl Smith was out of position. He's never in position. So Daryl Smith, Chris Conte, out of the back seven. They got to go. Got to get rid of them. Draft a cornerback, maybe a cornerback with some size and a hard-hitting safety with some range and some good instinct. And I think that'll shore up the back end. And we got to figure out what we're going to do with Ryan Smith. What are we going to do with Ryan Smith? We drafted this guy last year in the 4th round, I believe. He was a cornerback in college, and we converted him over to safety, and we gave him some time in special teams, but he couldn't crack the lineup. So that worries me, folks, that he couldn't get into the lineup and get some playing time on the field over Chris Conte and Keith Tandy and Bradley McDougal. It was kind of weird, but the Elliott, young guy Elliott, he plays the slot really good. And Jay Veron, the guy, number 38, if you don't know him, he got suspended for PED use, and he got hurt too. He was pretty decent. Ultron Werner, we're probably going to trade him or cut him because his contract is pretty we're not filling his contract. Like, once again, we made some bad decisions, and Ultron Werner clearly doesn't fit in the future of the Bucs, and I think he knows that. He had that one hell of a game, and my condolences go out to Ultron Werner. And his dad passed away, and he still played, and he played a hell of a game. But as far as the Bucs' future, he doesn't fit in the Bucs' future. His contract, more than likely he'll be cut. I don't know if we're going to trade him. I don't see teams running to go get Ultron Werner. They'll probably wait till we cut him. He's a veteran, savvy veteran, but he doesn't fit our scheme, and he doesn't fit in our future plans. So we're going to have to draft some corners, or get some corners in free agency, or get some safeties. But I say draft safety. The first thing we need on defense is safeties. If we can get a safety in the draft in the 1st or 2nd round, and a safety in this free agency, that'll be good. A veteran guy, that'd be pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? And draft an outside linebacker to replace Daryl Smith, or get one in free agency would be good too. But that's not a pressing need. But safety and, like I said, offensive lineman are the 2 biggest areas that we need to address. Front 4. We got Gerald McCoy under contract. We got Noah Spence, 5.5 sacks, 6 sacks this season. Robert Ayres Jr. On a 3-year deal. So this year will be year 2 on his deal. Veteran guy. We got Clint McDonald, Hakeem Spence, but also we got Lambert, William Golson. We need to re-sign him. He might not be the best pass rusher, but man, he does a hell of a job stopping the run. And we need a guy like that on the line that's really physical and really aggressive. It took him a couple of years to figure out what type of guy he is, because I was a little worried about him. But he's figured out he's that run stopper that we need at defensive end. I personally think that we should line him up inside. He can be really a force because he's tall and he's big. But we got a couple other guys that was hurt that I really would like to see them when they're healthy. I want to see this line healthy, like everybody. And the 2 guys I'm talking about is Henry Jones and Jock Smith. Now, I was big on Jock Smith. The Bucs stole him from a practice squad, and he looks really good when he was playing. He was a pass rush specialist. He was quick. He has a good bend. Good dip and rip. And he got hurt. It's 2 years in a row, and I don't know if we're gonna move forward with him. I mean, he got skills. It's obvious when he's on the field. He can affect the pass rush. He can get in there and get some sacks. But we had to draft Noah Spence. And are we going to keep him? Probably so for depth. And Henry Jones was pretty decent. So we've got some guys that got some skills. They just got to stay healthy. But we'll drop the defensive line, another pass rusher. Maybe third round, if maybe second round. But like I said, either safety or offensive line in the first round or second round. But we'll draft another pass rusher and maybe pick up another veteran free agency. One thing I do notice about Jason, he likes those older guys that's in the back end of their prime, looking for that last contract. I don't think he's gonna sign a guy going into his prime looking for a big contract like Alshon Jeffrey. You don't touch him. You build through the draft. That's what the Patriots do, and make timely trades. But you build through the draft, and Jason has done a good job. So our defensive line will probably get another veteran guy on the line, maybe two. Defensive tackles, we're pretty deep at defensive tackle. A lot of guys are very versatile, so we're good at that. But like I said, Mike Smith, if he gets the head coaching job this offseason, because he's done a good job, to get that defense right. But I'm not a big fan of him. I'm just gonna be honest, folks. As far as the overall organization, and I want to touch on the fan base. Folks, I've been through social media. I've got a chance to interact with other fan bases. And folks, we got to step up. We got to step up our fan base game on social media, our impact, our presence on social media. And I was talking to this about this with Travis Johnson. Shout out to Travis. And I was like, man, our fan base we're not loud enough, man. We let other teams, say what they got to say. Other fan base say what they got to say, because you look at other fan bases. You got Steelers fan base, the Terrible Towers, they go hard. The 12th man in Seattle, they go hard. The Arrowhead Chiefs, the Chop, they go hard for their team. The Eagles, Bird Gang, they go hard for their team on social media. The Dirty Bird Nation, or the Dirty Birds, they go hard for their team. The Who Dat, where I'm at right now, they go hard for their team on social media. Cowboys fans, we know about the Cowboys fans. They go hard. The Jets fans, even the lonely Low Brown fans, the Dog Pound go hard. Raider Nation go hard, and they made their presence felt on my page this season. One of my videos, they was on my video hard. Raider Nation go hard for their team. You know what I'm saying? So the Green Bay Packers, the Cheeseheads, they go hard for their team. The list goes on, folks. We got to show more support for our team. I've heard some people talk about the home games, the stands with all these, other fans coming in our stadium, sitting all in there, taking all the seats and stuff. I don't want to see that no more. All I want to see is red, white, black, and puke. Like, I don't want to see any other color fan base in our stadium next season or this season, because I'm tired of hearing other fans sitting all in our, like, come on, man. Like, we got a nice slogan. We got two slogans. We got Fire the Cannons, Seize the Day. Let's push that. Let's let these other fan bases know that now we moving forward, because the next 3 to 7 years, folks, our arrow's pointing up, because all our young core guys are young. Our quarterback's young. Our number one receiver's young. Our tight end is young. Our right guard, Marpet, is young. Kwon is young. Lavonte David is in the middle 20s, on the back end. Gerald McCoy on the back end, but he's still young enough to make plays and be a presence. We got Veron Hargreaves, you know what I'm saying? So we got some pieces in place, and it's going to take a lot of support from the fans, and we got to be behind our team on social media. We can't let other teams come on our pages, our Buck pages, Bucco's Locker, be talking noise, or in the groups, NFC South group, they be talking noise too. So now we've made an imprint. We went 9-7. We finished the season strong, 6-2. Let's grow this fan base, okay? We got to grow this fan base and make this a big deal. Like, we got to let people know that we will fire those cannons, and we coming to seize the day, and we coming to take your treasure, which is that win. And the biggest treasure we want to get is that Super Bowl. We had one before. We can get another one. We got the quarterback. We got the pieces. We got to get a couple more pieces there. Make some timely decisions and some good draft picks and some good spending that money. And we're going to be 10-6, 11-5, 12-4. We are that close, folks. We are that close from being a top 15 team or top 12 team consistently year in and year out. A couple more pieces away. We got it. We in the right direction. I know we had our ups and downs, but but this season, 9-7, that's pretty good. I mean, our first game of the season, we beat Atlanta in Atlanta. Then we got beat by the Cardinals. That was a wash. Jameis threw interceptions, and he got to work on his turnovers and his pocket awareness. He got to learn when to run and throw the ball away. But I know everybody be on him about that. Then we lost to the Rams, a game that we should have won, and if we would have won that game, we'll be in the playoffs. Then we played the Broncos, got beat by them by Paxton Lynch. And you seen the Broncos situation? You seen the Rams situation at quarterback? And we lost to those teams? We shouldn't have lost to those teams, especially the Rams. The Rams is a hot mess. And we lost to Case Keenum. Thank you, Mike Smith. Thank you. Gosh. And then we beat the Panthers on Monday Night Football. Then we beat San Francisco. That was a gimme. Then we lost to the Raiders. We should have beat the Raiders, but it was a holding call on a J. Thanks, Mike Smith, for giving up 600 yards. Then we got blew out by the Falcons. Embarrassing. Thursday night. Then we beat the Bears. We beat the Chiefs. We beat the Chargers. We beat the Saints. We lost to the Cowboys. Lost to the Saints. And beat the Panthers. So there you go, folks. We had a chance to go at least 11-5 or 10-6. But the two games that I look at, the Raiders and the Rams. Those two games right there, if we would have won those games, one of those games, we'd be in the playoffs. We should have beat the Rams, but that's neither here nor there. I like our projection for this season. I'm going to project a little early projection here. I'm going to say 10-6, 11-5. I seen the schedule. I'll talk about the schedule in another video, but my outlook is 10-6, 11-5 because, we still got to, sure up some pieces. And if we get that line right, we can go 12-4. It's all about that line, folks. I understand everybody draft another receiver. We need a cornerback. We need a safety. Forget all that. Put the money into the line. Get the draft picks into the line. I'm telling you, folks, having that line pay off. Look who in the playoffs. Packers, their offensive line is nice. The Cowboys, their offensive line is nice. The Raiders, their offensive line is nice. The Chiefs' offensive line is pretty good. You know what I'm saying? So look at those teams in the playoffs right now. The Steelers line, we got to get a line. The Dolphins line is pretty decent. So we got to shore up that line, get another center, another left guard if we can't do nothing with J.R. Sweezy. Get a right tackle. We'll move Donavan Smith to right tackle and get a left tackle. We got to address that line. I'm going to stress this all off season. Get the line straight, Jason Lights and Dirk Koetter and the Glazer family. Trust me, it will pay dividends for Jameis Winston because he needs time in the pocket. If he get time in the pocket with Mike Evans and two more receivers and another tight end with Cameron Brate, I'm telling you, we going 10-6, 11-5, 12-4. In that range. We're going to win 10 games or 12 games next season or this season. Watch. I'm telling you, folks. And with the support of the fan base, we support the moves, but we will question some of your moves, Jason Light and Dirk Koetter and the Glazer family. We will question some of the moves, a.k.a. Roberto Aguayo. We don't want to see that no more. Do not reach for a pick. Address the needs of the team. Offensive line, number one. Pass rusher. Well, offensive line, safety, pass rusher. Receivers. Okay? And a kicker to go with Roberto Aguayo to give him some competition. That's my point of view. Offensive line first. Okay? I don't want to hear anything about a running back or none of that stuff. Offensive line first. Skill position, we will get our guys, whether it's the draft or free agency, but we got to get that line straight. I'm going to say it all through this video. If we don't get that line straight, we're going to finish 8-8, 9-7, 6-10. Let's keep it real, folks. Championships are won in the trenches. Offensive line, defensive line. Watch. But I think Jason will do a good job. I think he learned from his mistake with Roberto Aguayo. I'm not saying he's a mistake, but he learned that. I think he know that he reached for Roberto Aguayo, and we had other dire needs that he could have picked. And there were some other guys that we passed up on that we didn't pick. That's doing pretty good right now. I ain't gonna say no names, but I think we're gonna challenge the Falcons for NFC South next year. I'm not worried about the Panthers or the Saints because I think the Saints are gonna lose their coach to the Rams. I think that his welcome is worn out, and the Panthers are going downhill. They might lose Ron Rivera. Who knows? Cam Newton has regressed. He's not accurate. I personally will take James Winston over Cam Newton any day, moving forward, any day. He's a better quarterback. He's in the film room. Cam Newton is all about his appearance. Drew Brees getting old. Matt Ryan is in his prime, or back in his prime, 31, 32. So once again, folks, we have the youngest quarterback in our division, so our arrow is pointing up. We have to take advantage of this. I'm telling you, because before you know it, we're going to have the best quarterback, a top 5 or top 7 quarterback in Jameis Winston. Because Drew Brees is going to be gone, Matt Ryan going to be getting older, and Cam Newton's still going to be throwing balls high, incomplete, and going to the press conference with his big old sombrero hats and stuff like that. So enough of all that, joking about them other teams. You know, I got love for them, but they all have us, so forget them. And it's all about the fire, the cannons, and season today. But this is your boy, Isaiah. I'm about to sign out. I did want to do a live video, talk about the off season and talk about this past season and a little bit of the off season. I'll do more videos about specifically about addressing the needs in draft, and I'll do videos about the offensive line. I'll do a video about the running backs. I'll do a video about the quarterback and the coaches, separate videos. But I just want to do a total overall summary of the season of the Bucs going 9-7, which is a big deal. Our first winning season in a long time. When we went 10-6 with Raheem Morris, which Raheem Morris is doing a good job. Shout out to Raheem Morris as the assistant head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, but whatever. But I see big things coming this season. We're gonna go between 10-6 or 12-4, as long as we address that line. So, with that being said, I hope everybody had a happy New Year. You know, I'm gonna do some things different this season with Bucks Locker. I'm gonna get a background drop and have some stuff going. I'm gonna do some things different. I'm gonna do some giveaways and all of that stuff. So I'm gonna try some things different on the Bucks Locker channel. I appreciate all y'all support. You know, from last year, watching my videos and commenting. Don't worry, just because I don't comment, that doesn't mean I'm not reading them. I read all the comments. I see what y'all asking. I see what y'all talk about. So I appreciate all the love, all the subscribers. Shout out to all the people that watch the videos. Not going nowhere, folks. We're only getting bigger. We're getting close to 1,000 subscribers. We're almost at 700. I want to see this grow. I want people to see that the Bucs, the fan base, the Pirates, and the Sea-Benders are for real. So, that being said, it's your boy Isaiah coming to you live from Google Hangout, Bucks Locker. You can subscribe, like, share, comment, and of course, all you other team fan bases, you can come on here and hate about our future outlook. I don't care, because we are here now. We have arrived. Finally, after so many years of struggling. All it takes is the right draft picks, right, folks? Makes a difference. 2-14, 6-10, now 9-7. What's next? Stay tuned. But I'm signing out. Everybody have a good night. Peace.